Before we dive into this massive development, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single Dodgers or MLB bombshell, because what we're talking about today has the entire baseball world buzzing, front offices scrambling, and fans arguing nonstop across social media. This is one of those stories that changes the conversation overnight. MLB Network lit up today when reports started circulating that Edwin Diaz has rejected the New York Mets' latest offer and, instead, agreed to join the Los Angeles Dodgers on a 3-year deal reportedly worth $69 million. And when that headline crossed the screen, you could almost hear jaws dropping across the league. Mark DeRosa's reaction on MLB Network said everything fans were thinking, because this isn't just a closer changing teams, this is a superstar reliever, one of the most electric ninth-inning arms in baseball, potentially flipping the balance of power in the National League. DeRosa started by making it clear just how shocking this move feels from a Mets perspective. Edwin Díaz has been the heartbeat of that bullpen for years. When he's healthy and locked in, the trumpets, the entrance, the energy, it all symbolizes Mets baseball. For him to reportedly look at New York, look at the offer on the table, and say no thanks, that's a message. DeRosa emphasized that this isn't just about money, because the Mets are not a small market team pinching pennies. This is about direction, confidence, and belief in where a franchise is going. Then DeRosa pivoted to the Dodgers side of the equation, and this is where the conversation really exploded. He talked about how Los Angeles doesn't just sign players, they recruit them into a system. When the Dodgers call, they don't just show you a contract, they show you a plan. They show you how they'll use you, how they'll protect you, how they'll maximize your career, and how they'll put you in position to win championships. According to DeRosa, that pitch alone can be worth millions. Think about what Edwin Diaz represents when he's right. A closer who can end games in under 10 pitches. A guy whose fastball explodes at the top of the zone, whose slider disappears, and whose confidence can suffocate an opposing lineup. DeRosa pointed out that teams don't just fear Diaz in the 9th inning, they manage entire games differently because of him. Starters push harder knowing they only need to get through 6 or 7. Opposing managers start pressing in the 7th and 8th, knowing time is running out. That psychological edge is priceless. From the Mets side, DeRosa didn't hold back. He questioned whether New York truly understands how fragile elite bullpen windows can be. Closers aren't plug and play, especially at Diaz's level. You don't just replace that presence with a committee and hope for the best. Losing Diaz doesn't just weaken the bullpen, it sends shockwaves through the entire pitching staff. Starters lose confidence, setup men get exposed, and suddenly close games turn into late-inning nightmares. And then there's the Dodgers, who already feel like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. DeRosa highlighted how this move, if finalized, fits perfectly into Los Angeles' long-term strategy. They'd been aggressive, calculated, and ruthless in stacking elite talent, especially arms that shorten games in October. Add Edwin Diaz to that mix, and suddenly Dodgers games feel like 7-inning contests again, the same way they did when their bullpen was at its most dominant. DeRosa also talked about pressure, and how different markets handle it. In New York, Diaz was a hero one moment, and under a microscope the next. Every blown save became a headline. Every rough outing felt like a referendum on his contract. In Los Angeles, the pressure is different. It's intense, yes, but it's shared. You're not carrying the franchise alone. You're part of a machine, and for some players, that environment unlocks the best version of them. What really caught attention was DeRosa's breakdown of the numbers. 3 years, $69 million is elite closer money, but it's also a statement. It says the Dodgers are all in right now, not just for one season, but for a sustained run. They're willing to invest heavily in the most volatile role in baseball because they believe their infrastructure can manage that volatility better than anyone else. DeRosa reminded viewers that October baseball is different. Starters rarely go deep. Games are decided in the margins. Matchups, leverage, and nerves determine everything. A closer like Edwin Díaz isn't just a 9th-inning guy in the playoffs. He can be a fireman in the seventh. He can shut down the heart of the order when the game is on the line. He can pitch on back-to-back days with confidence. That versatility is exactly what the Dodgers have been building toward. From a fan perspective, DeRosa acknowledged the emotional side of this story. Mets fans feel betrayed. Dodgers fans feel unstoppable. Neutral fans feel stunned. This is one of those moves that instantly shifts expectations. Suddenly, Los Angeles isn't just a favorite, they're the measuring stick again. Every contender in the National League has to ask themselves a tough question: how are we beating the Dodgers in a 7-game series if they hand the ball to Edwin Diaz with a lead late? DeRosa also touched on legacy. Edwin Diaz is still in his prime, but every elite reliever reaches a crossroads where they decide what matters most. Do you want to be the face of one franchise through ups and downs, or do you want rings? Championships define how history remembers you. This move, according to DeRosa, suggests Diaz is thinking about the long game, about how his career will be talked about 10, 15 years from now. The conversation then turned to how this affects the rest of the market. When a closer of Diaz's caliber reportedly moves, it sends shockwaves. Prices go up. Teams that thought they were set in the bullpen suddenly feel exposed. Contenders start calling, asking who's available. Rebuilding teams smell opportunity. DeRosa said this could be the domino that triggers a flurry of bullpen activity across MLB. And let's be honest, the Dodgers doing this feels almost unfair to some fans. DeRosa laughed about it on air, saying it's the rich getting richer narrative all over again. But he also defended it. The Dodgers draft well, develop well, and spend smartly. They don't apologize for using every advantage available. In his words, if your organization gives you the green light to win, you owe it to your fans to take it. As the segment wrapped, DeRosa made one thing very clear. If this deal holds, if Edwin Diaz really is headed to Los Angeles on a 3-year, $69 million contract, this is not just the biggest bullpen move of the offseason. This is a move that could define the next few years of National League baseball. It raises the stakes, intensifies rivalries, and puts enormous pressure on teams like the Mets to respond. Now imagine the scene. October night at Dodger Stadium. 1-run lead. Crowd roaring. Trumpets blaring in enemy territory. Edwin Diaz jogging in from the bullpen wearing Dodger blue. That image alone tells you why this story has taken over the baseball world. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more MLB Network-style reactions, insider-style analysis, and breaking Dodgers news the moment it drops, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments what you think. Did the Mets make a massive mistake letting this happen? Or did the Dodgers just pull off another genius move that brings them one step closer to another World Series?